If Beale Street Could Talk by James Baldwin. We're starting on page 148. She tips Jamie when they arrive at the hotel. Then, as her bag is carried into the hotel, she looks suddenly at her watch. "My God," she says. "Do you think you could wait for me, just for a minute, while I register? I had no idea it was so late. I promised to meet someone. I won't be a moment. The boy will carry the bag up. Will that be all right?" Jamie is a somewhat muddy-faced boy with brilliant eyes and a sullen smile. He is entirely intrigued by this improbable North American lady. Intrigued because he knows, through unutterably grim experience, that, though she may be in trouble and certainly has a secret, she is not attempting to do him any violence. He understands that she needs him, the taxi, for something. But that is not his affair. He does not know he knows it. The thought has not consciously entered his mind, but he knows she is a mother. He has a mother. He knows one when he sees one. He knows again, without knowing that he knows it, that he can be of service to her tonight. His courtesy is as real as her trouble. And so he says gravely that of course he will take the Senora wherever she wishes and wait for her as long as she likes. Sharon cheats on him a little. She registers, goes up in the elevator with the bellboy, tips him. She cannot decide whether to wear her hat or not. Her problem is both trivial and serious, but she has never had to confront it before. Her problem is that she does not look her age. She takes her hat off. She puts it back on. Does the hat make her look younger or older? At home, she looks her age, whatever that age is, because everybody knows her age. She looks her age because she knows her role. But now she is about to enter a nightclub in a strange town for the first time in 20 years, alone. She puts the hat on. She takes it off. She realizes that panic is about to overtake her, and she throws the hat onto the night table, scrubs her face in cold water as harshly as she once scrubbed mine, puts on a high-necked white blouse and a black skirt and black high-heeled shoes, pulls her hair cruelly back from her forehead, knots it, and throws a black shawl over her head and shoulders. The intention of all this is to make her look elderly. The effect is to make her look juvenile. Sharon curses, but the taxi is waiting. She grabs her handbag, runs to the elevator, walks swiftly through the lobby, and gets to the taxi. Anyway, Jamie's brilliant eyes inform her, looks like a Yankee or a gringo tourist. The nightclub is located in what is certainly a backwater, if not, indeed, a swamp, before the immense hotel which houses it was built. It is absolutely hideous, so loud, so blatant, so impervious and cruel, that facing it causes mere vulgarity to seem an irrecoverable state of grace. Sharon is now really frightened. Her hands are shaking. She lights a cigarette. "I must find someone," she says to Jamie. "I will not be long." She has no way of realizing at that moment that the entire militia would have trouble driving Jamie away. Sharon has now become his property. This lady, he knows, is in deep trouble. And it is not an ordinary trouble, because this is a lady. Certainly, Signora, says Jamie with a smile and gets out of the cab and comes to open the door for her. Thank you, Sharon says, and walks quickly toward the garish doors, wide open. There is no doorman visible, but there will certainly be a doorman inside. Now it must all be played by ear, and all that holds her up, my mother, who once dreamed of being a singer, is her private knowledge of what she is doing in this place. She enters, in fact, the hotel lobby. Keys, registration, mail, cashier, board clerks, mainly white and decidedly pale, with no one paying her the slightest attention. She walks as though she knows exactly where she's going. The nightclub is on the left, down a flight of stairs. She turns left and walks down the stairs. No one has stopped her yet. Senorita! She has never seen a photograph of Pietro. The man before her is bland and swarthy. The light is too dim, and her surroundings too strange for her to be able to guess his age. He does not seem unfriendly. Sharon smiles. Good evening. I hope I'm in the right place. This is... And she stammers the name of the nightclub. Si, senorita. Well, I'm supposed to meet a friend here, but the flight I meant to take was overbooked, and so I was forced to take an earlier one, so I'm a little early. Could you hide me at a table in a corner somewhere? Certainly, with pleasure. He leads her through the crowded room. What is the name of your friend? Her mind dries up. She must go for broke. It's actually more in the nature of business. I'm waiting for Senor Alvarez. I am Mrs. Rivers from New York. Thank you. He seats her at a table against the wall. Will you have a drink while waiting? Yes, thank you. A screwdriver. He bows, whoever he is, and walks away. 2 down, thinks Sharon, and she is now very calm. This is a nightclub, and so the music is live. Sharon's days with the drummer come back to her. Her days as a singer come back to her. They do not, as she is to make very vivid to me much later, come back with the rind of regret. She and the drummer lost each other. That was that. She was not equipped to be a singer, and that was that. Yet she remembers what she and the drummer and the band attempted. She knows from whence they came. If I remember, uncloudy day, because I remember myself sitting on my mother's knee when I first heard it. She remembers, my Lord and I, and so we'll walk together, my Lord and I. That song is Birmingham, her father and her mother, the kitchens and the mines. She may never, in fact, ever have particularly liked that particular song, but she knows it about it. It is part of her. She slowly realizes that this is the song, which, to different words, if words indeed there are, the young people on the bandstand are belting or bolting out, and they know nothing at all about the song they are singing, which causes Sharon to wonder if they know anything about themselves at all. This is the first time that Sharon has been alone in a very long time. Even now, she is alone merely physically, in the same way. For example, that she is alone when she goes shopping for her family. Shopping, she must listen. She must look. Say yes to this, say no to that. She must choose. She has a family to feed. She cannot poison them because she loves them. And now she finds herself listening to the sound she has never heard before. If she were shopping, she could not take this home and put it on the family table, for it would not nourish them. My gal and I, cries the undernourished rock singer, whipping himself into an electric orgasm. But no one who had ever had a lover, a mother or father, or a lord could sound so despairingly masturbatory. For it is despair that Sharon is hearing, and despair, whether or not it can be taken home and placed on the family table, must always be respected. Despair can make one monstrous, but it can also make one noble. And here these children are, in the arena, up for grabs. Sharon claps for them because she prays for them. Her screwdriver comes, and she smiles up at a face she cannot see. She sips her drink. She stiffens. The children are about to go into their next number, and she looks up into another face she cannot see. The children begin their number loud. I can't get no satisfaction. You, Mrs. Rivers? You waiting for me? I think so. Won't you sit down? He sits down, facing her. Now she sees him. Again, thinking of me and Fonny and the baby, cursing herself for being so inept, knowing herself to be encircled, trapped, her back to the wall, his back to the door. She yet must go for broke. I was told that a certain Mr. Petro Alvarez worked here. Are you Petro Alvarez? She sees him, and yet, of course, at the same time, she doesn't. Maybe. What do you want to see him about? Sharon wants a cigarette, but she is afraid her hand will tremble. She picks up her screwdriver in both hands and sips it, slowly, rather thanking God now for the shawl, which she can maneuver to shadow her face. If she can see him, he can also see her. She is silent for a moment. Then she puts down her drink and she picks up a cigarette. May I have a light, please? He lights it. She takes off the shawl. I do not especially want to see Mr. Alvarez. I want to see Mrs. Victoria Rogers. I am the mother-in-law to-be of the man she has accused of raping her and who is now in prison in New York. She watches him. He watches her. Now she begins to see him. Well, lady, you got one hell of a son-in-law, let me tell you that. I also have one hell of a daughter. Let me tell you that. The mustache he has grown to make him look older twitches. He runs his hands through his thick black hair. Look, the kid's been through enough, more than enough. Leave her alone. A man is about to die for something he didn't do. Can we leave him alone? What makes you think he didn't do it? Look at me. The children on the bandstand finish their set and go off, and immediately the jukebox takes over. Ray Charles, I can't stop loving you. What you want me to look at you for? The waiter comes. What are you drinking, senor? Sharon put out her cigarette and immediately lights another. It's on me. Give me the usual. And give the lady what she's drinking. The waiter goes. Look at me. I'm looking at you. Do you think I love my daughter? Frankly, it's hard to believe you have a daughter. I'm about to become a grandmother. From? Yes. He is young, very, very young, but also very old. But not the old in the way that she had expected him to be. She had expected the age of corruption. She is confronting the age of sorrow. She is confronting torment. Do you think that I would marry my daughter to a rapist? You might not know. Look at me again. And he does, but it does not help him. Look, I wasn't there, but Victoria swears it was him. And she's been through crap. Baby, she's been through some crap. And I don't want to put her through no more. I'm sorry, lady, but I don't care what happens to your daughter. He stops. She's going to have a baby? Yes. What do you want from me? Can you leave us alone? We just want to be left alone. Sharon says nothing. Look, I ain't no American. You got all them lawyers and folks up there. Why you coming to me? Crap, I'm sorry, but I ain't nothing. I'm an Indian. Wop, spick, spade, name it, that's me. I got my little thing going here, and I got Victoria. And lady, I don't want to put her through no more crap. I'm sorry, lady, but I really just can't help you. He starts to rise. He does not want to cry before her. Sharon takes his wrist. He sits down, one hand before his face. Sharon takes out her wallet. Pietro, I can call you that because I am old enough to be your mother. My son-in-law is your age. He leans his head on one hand and looks at her. Sharon hands him the photograph of Fanny and myself. Look at it. He does not want to, but he does. Are you a rapist? He looks up at her. Answer me, are you? The dark eyes in the stolid face staring now directly into my mother's eyes make the face electrical, light a fire in the darkness of a far-off hill. He has heard the question. Are you? No. Do you think I have come here to make you suffer? No. Do you think I am a liar? No. Do you think I am crazy? We are all a little crazy, I know, but really crazy? No. Then will you take this photograph home to Victoria and ask her to really think about it, really to study it. Hold her in your arms. Do that. I am a woman. I know that she was raped, and I know, well, I know what women know. But I also know that Alonzo did not rape her. And I say that to you because I know that you know what men know. Hold her in your arms. She stares at him an instant. He stares at her. And will you call me tomorrow? She gives him the name and the phone number of the hotel. He writes it down. Will you? He looks at her, now very hard and cold. He looks at the number. He looks at the photograph. He pushes both towards Sharon. No, he says, and rises and leaves.